Alright, well, this is the first video. We're going to be counting down the top 10 at each position, broken up into quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, offensive linemen. I'm not really going to get that hard off, so I'm just going to name 10 people I know are very good and that have unique talent. And then interior linemen, so your 3-4 ends, your defensive tackles, and your nose tackles in the 3-4. Your and then your pass rushers, so the 3-4 outside linebackers and 4-3 defensive ends, the guys who really get into sacks. Your stack linebackers, aka your Mike, your Wills, or your Sams, so you're basically your 4-3 backers or your 3-4 inside backers. Your safeties, and your corners. Let me go grab my list. So, for quarterback, obviously my number one is Aaron Rodgers. He's the most talented, definitely. He can throw the ball, move it. He can just flip it off his without any effort, and it just goes where he wants it. Aaron Rodgers is definitely my best. I don't care what anyone says. I don't really want to put number two as Peyton Manning because he's old, but he is the most productive out of everyone and consistent. So he really could be number one, really. Number three, this might be a little bit surprised, but I think it's Philip Rivers right now. He's playing excellent, and he really comes up clutch in like tough moments. That Seattle game was definitely like one of those games that he gets to show his moxie. He's got like that little attitude about him. I think right now he's ahead of Brady and Breeze, who I have next, but they're only there right now because of their credentials. And Breeze not playing well. Brady's not playing well. Brady has no offensive help right now, so I'm still gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. I mean, he's Tom Brady. Um, After that, that's the five elite players. Now, the downgrade of Brady and Breeze, I think, hurts them, but they could still have the potential to end up being very good this season anyway. They could just have in a rough stretch. But then I got number five, Wilson. He's arguably the best of the young guys. Him and Luck and Foles, I would say, in that conversation, I'll give him the edge because of his body of work, the time he's been playing, since he was a rookie, and he has been to the playoffs both years and has won a Super Bowl. I mean, he's won a Super Bowl in his third year, so that's pretty special. Luck comes in after him. He's probably the most talented besides maybe Rodgers, so that's where he stands in there. I mean, and he does produce a lot with not a ton of talent. Now he does have talent, but the past few years, his rookie year, he had no talent, and he made it work, which is a big attribute in a quarterback to me. And he has every tool you'd want in a quarterback, and he could easily end up being the best in a few years. But until now the next three, this is where I was hard. I ended up going Flacco as the next one. I think he's clutch. I think he doesn't have a lot of talent around him, and he still always produces. He has definitely the strongest arm, I think. Yeah, you could also say Cutler and Stafford are in that conversation with the strongest arm, but Flacco has the best deep arm. Now Flacco, I'm gonna go Big Ben. That's also credentials, but I don't even like it there. Honestly, these like once you get to past the Luck and once you get past Flacco, it's hard to pick because I was choosing between Big Ben, Stafford, Cutler, Foles, and Romo and Eli. Eli, I don't even know. I think he's overrated, kind of, but he does have the credentials and he does get it done some days. And he's the opposite of Romo in the sense where Romo is great. Romo is great in the first few quarters or every now and then, but then in clutch situations he falters, where Eli is usually shitty but has been clutch in certain years. So I couldn't put either of them on there though, because I don't think Foles, the body work's not big enough for me to say right now without just seeing him like a homer. But when he is on his game, he makes some throws that not many other people can make. With his accuracy, really, is what separates him, I think, and his size. But that's also something Ben. So I end up going for my 7 or 8, 9, and 10 Flacco, Big Ben, and Stafford. I think Stafford, his numbers are inflated because Calvin Johnson, obviously, but he does have a strong arm, and I really like the way he plays. He plays with a little moxie, you know. He plays hard. Kind of went too in depth with quarterbacks, but let's go. Okay, running back. AP's not in the league right now, but he's still my number 3 back out of these guys. Because if he is playing, he is in that elite 3, but the elite 2 are better. I think Shady and Jamal Charles are better all-around players. It's very hard to say. I think it depends on your scheme. If you want Shady or Jamal Charles. Now, I think Shady is has a little more special to him. He has something you can't teach, or well, you can't teach Jamal Charles speed, and that's what the only thing Shady lacks. He doesn't have that breakaway speed, but his make you miss and get extra yards out of nothing is second to none. And really, I would say it's like he's 1A, Jamal Charles is 1B. And if you're a Chiefs fan, Jamal Charles is 1A and Shady's 1B. It pretty much comes down to that. Number 4 is Forte. Forte is probably the most complete back. Well, yeah, as far as size, speed, and he's a great receiver. He's the best receiver out of these backs, pretty much, as far as he can actually line up in outside and run wide receiver routes. You don't see Shady really doing that. He runs wheel routes. Charles does it a little bit, so that's kind of where Shady's more of a better pure runner, and Charles is a little bit better receiver. Now I put AP above Forte. He's more powerful and has that unique combination of speed and power, but he's nowhere near the receiver that these 3 are. Now number 5 is Lynch. Yeah, again, beast mode. He just grinds it out. He's good every year. He works behind a really good offensive line, but he's a pretty solid player. I think he's going to be on the decline though. So now this guy does not decline. The number 6 guy, Frank Gore. I mean, he's just a beast. He's so consistent every year. He makes incredible runs, but he's just a powerhouse. I don't even know if he's fast anymore. He's really probably not, but he still gets it done. Just gets it done. DeMarco Murray, for Eagles fans to say that's my my 6 back. Yeah, well, I think DeMarco Murray has that. I mean, he's as physical as AP almost. Well, he's like a little step down. He's somewhere, and he's got the speed of, he's as fast as about McCoy is, maybe faster. So he has a very well athletic overall ability. And after that, I picked Le'Veon Bell. I liked him coming out. I think he reminded me of Steven Jackson. He could catch the ball. He could run routes. He can cut. I really like the way he steps into his cuts. And he has some power. So he's a nice back over in Pittsburgh. And then after him, I got Alfred Morris. I think he's underrated a little bit. He makes that Washington offense go. And that stretch run, he cuts it back so nice. He's powerful. He's not the fastest guy, but he really has good vision. That's something that definitely makes him what he is, because he is good at picking those holes in that stretch run system and gaining consistent 4-6 yards to 10 yards a pop. It's rare you see him stopped and pushed backwards at contact. 10. This was hard. There was only 3 more players I even considered. I went Arian Foster because when he is healthy, he is very good and he could do it all. And then the people my honorable mentions would be Gio Bernard and Eddie Lacy, 2 rookies from last year. I think Gio Bernard, I really like him because he can catch and he can he cut back. He has that speed. He has that little. He can do the deke like a little juke, make people miss. And Eddie Lacy is just a big running back. And he's quick for his size. It's very surprising. Okay, wide receiver. This is kind of hard because there's a lot of good receivers in this league. I left Josh Gordon off this list because he smokes too much pot and doesn't play, and he's not playing for a little bit. But he'd be somewhere around in this top 10. Now, number 1, obvious, Calvin Johnson Jr. He's just Megatron. I really don't even know how to explain. He's bigger, faster, stronger than everyone else. Number 2 is Brandon Marshall. Brandon Marshall has been a beast for years. He's steady 100 catches, scores touchdowns. He has great hands, fights yards after the catch. He's everything you'd want in a wide receiver. Number 3, I'm gonna go with AJ Green because the way he can get deep and extend and make plays on the ball. He's very acrobatic. He's a little bit lighter than most receivers, but he's 6'4", so I think that's something that separates him, is his ability to adjust the balls. Also, number 5 is Dez Bryant. It hurts me to say this, but he never does very well against the Eagles, so I always kind of thought he wasn't as great as everyone acts like it. But then you watch him against other times, and he is really good, and he is a complete package. He's a big physical guy with great hands. My number five, this might surprise people, is Antonio Brown. I think he is really good. He has great hands. He can get open at any time. He's very, very fast, and he just fits in that offense. He's very good. After Antonio Brown, these next 2 guys, I could go back and forth, but I'm going to go with Demaryius Thomas would be next. Demaryius Thomas is big. He's fast. He runs like a running back sometimes when he gets that ball in his hands. And he's been very slow this year. Not slow as in speed, but he hasn't been doing what he has the prior years do. But it's only 4 weeks in. I still think he has great talent and one of the best talents. Okay, and the next guy is Jordy Nelson. This guy's phenomenal, I think. I really liked him when he came out, and he went out in the 3rd round. I remember he would just tear it up. It wouldn't matter where the ball's thrown, he would catch it, and that's what it is. I think him and Aaron Rodgers is the best duo in the league, probably. He really is underrated. He's probably one of the most underrated players because not a lot of people know. I think the light skin makes him not look as good. And next, Julio Jones. He's a freak. He's a tough freak. His ball skills are awesome. He really has awesome hands. It's fun to watch, and the way he adjusts the balls. That one over his head, they call it like an outfielder against the Bucks, was awesome. My next guy is Andre Johnson. He's the most physical receiver. He really deserves to be up there, so I can't leave him off. Even though Houston, he's pretty torn there, but I still believe if he was on a better team, he'd still be getting it done better than most people. And he was a beast, so I'm going to keep him in my top 10. Now my 10 is Steve Smith Sr. I really like Steve Smith. He's one of my favorite players, of all time. The way he plays, he's just a maniac, and that's what Flacco said, his quarterback's words. But yeah, he really lived up to putting bloods and guts everywhere when he played the Panthers, and he looks like he should have been a Raven the whole time. He fits in that uniform and that team so well. It's really I really like how he's there. It's cool. So the honorable mentions, I talked about Josh Gordon. Also Reggie Wayne's been getting done for a while. Alshon Jeffrey, he can easily be up to this one of the top 3 or 4 in this because he's so physical. Right now, Jerry Maclin is teared up. I've always been a big Maclin fan. And then Roddy White. You can't forget about him. When he's healthy, he's very good. We're out of time. I'm going to come back with the defense on a different video.